All right, let's go over to the wall because this has been a highly requested video. Check it out. Here is my XMaxx and here is my CEN Reeper. The XMaxx is a Traxxas product. Let's get them down on the ground so you can have a look at both of them side by side. Both of these trucks are absolute monsters. And for a size comparison, here's a 1/10 scale trail truck, right? You can see, well, maybe even if I do it sideways so you can have a better comparison. You can see there is a substantial size difference between the two. And if I even move the Reaper out of the way and move the XMaxx behind it, you'll see that if you guys have ever carried a 1/10 scale truck around on your back trying to come out of the woods on a trail run, that the XMaxx or the Reaper would certainly pose a challenge because it is a very, very heavy machine. The XMaxx is heavier than the CEN Reeper, but the Reaper is also very long in size and kind of awkward when you carry it. Now I want to be very candid in this film and really kind of touch base on something I feel strongly about. A lot of people write to me and say, you know, what is better? What is the best? What do you like best? The CEN Reaper or the XMaxx? And I've got to say, my friends, the word best or better or any of those buzzwords are really words made up by other humans to express personal feeling, right? Like I could go ahead and say, yeah, the Reaper is the best. But if there are things about it that you find you don't like and you try out the XMaxx as well, you might think that the XMaxx is the best, and I would have been giving you some bad information. The best thing I can say about trying to pick a nice monster truck or any RC when you're comparing them is, yeah, you can take opinions from other people, but bear in mind you have to try each truck before you can make your own opinion about what is best. My show RC Adventures has always been about what each vehicle I use has to offer for happiness and smiles and overall fun factor. Every RC that I've run into, every single one can be upgraded or changed or tweaked to make it run the way you want. That's the beauty of the hobby. Let's take the bodies off of each one. For example, if you were looking at what was the best truck for the cost, well, some quick searches on Google would show you the prices of these trucks in each of your regions, right? Because everybody has different currencies with different values all over the world. Now, if you're looking for one that would be lighter, I would say this one right here, the Reaper, is very light. Look at this. On the inside chassis rails, they've been carved out. This truck is really focused on how light and powerful it is. And this is an upgraded version. This is a version apart from the XT90 plugs, which allow super huge flow to go through. This truck here can take a 6S LiPo. The old CEN truck that was a little bit shorter than this, it was the Colossus GST-E, which is the electric version. It didn't have the ability to take the 6S LiPo. It was maxed out at 4S. Also with this big bar on top, which is a supporting bar of the longer frames, right? A rollover bar right here. You know, like this truck as an upgraded vehicle can fly high, it is super fast, and the ESC is programmable. So everything about that is really cool. One thing I didn't really like too much about the truck is the really, really underpowered steering servo. Now, the extended chassis, a lot of this design actually reminds me of a Savage Flux, the old TCS chassis that was an extended chassis for a 1/5 scale conversion for a Savage Flux. Now, the reason they did that was so it could transfer all the power to the back wheels, or pardon me, not to just to the back wheels, but to all four along the length of the chassis. Instead of doing wheelies all the time off the line, this long chassis actually plants all the wheels on the ground for maximum traction. These are the upgraded tires that I put on the CEN Reeper as of recent, and I haven't been outside as yet because it's been very, very cold and I don't want to break any of the plastics on here before I get a good chance to rip with these in the snow. Now let's go over here to the XMaxx. One thing about the XMaxx is its overall size. It is a huge vehicle. Now, if you want something that's light and able to fly easily, and when you break it and you have to do the walk of shame, this might be the one that you want. Of course, the CEN Reeper at the time of this filming comes in at around $649 US. And on this one, depending on where you look, you're looking anywhere between $800 to $1,000, depending on the retailer. But this one has the ability to take an 8S LiPo, which is a huge amount of power. Now, the first XMaxx that came out could only take a maximum of 6S, which kind of made it feel a little bit sluggish. Like, it is quite heavy. Very sturdy, I would say. And when it was running on 6S, it just seemed not to have enough grunt power. But now with the 8S conversions that they had, plus the new release of this 8S truck right here, it has plenty of power to get down on the ground. Now, should we talk about ease of use? How easy is it to work on each one of these? Well, because the CEN Reeper has been kept fairly simple, the back end is just easy. You can get into everything except the differential right in the back here. It takes a little bit of work, but not too bad. And replacing out rod ends and everything is fairly simple. That's the whole design of this Reaper, is simplicity. Now, Traxxas did the same thing, but they went with their, they always have had this under chassis, right, with their different vehicles. This is like a tub style chassis like the Slash and other things had. It's similar, it's not identical. And of course, what they did with this fella is actually make it sectional as well. So this whole front end actually comes off. This stays as a middle piece, and this back rear end section separates. So you can work on each section individually. Now, with this big 8S ESC in here, a huge motor on the inside, a brushless motor, same as a brushless motor over here, not the same KV, but the same kind of idea, brushless motor. This actually comes with a couple of cooling fans right on the top, right? Extreme brushless power system. And if cost is something that's on your mind, right, you have to consider, why is the XMaxx more money? Well, the shocks are different, right? These are a longer travel shock on here, which means you're going to be able to take bigger air. The whole drive line has been beefed up, right, from the inside gears, right? And check out this. This is actually a drive shaft from the inside of my old Traxxas XMaxx, which is like a tube. This actually adds a lot of strength. On this CEN Reaper, you actually have a drive shaft right down from the middle into the center diff and then out to the back. Is it super beefed up and strong? I've always known the CEN trucks to be absolute beasts. That's why I loved my Colossus GSTE so much. This one, the servo on this one is enormous, right? What do I have one up on the wall here? And I think they're even upgrading them. I bought my extra servo on IMHO Hobbies, and this is the size of the waterproof servo. Now, the Savox servo on the inside of the Reaper is not waterproof, but in my recent video, I was bashing in water and having a ton of fun with this, only breaking some plastic parts in the cold. Is it waterproof? Well, the ESC is. The motor here is actually sensorless, right? So it can take a little bit of water damage as well. But overall, if you switched out the servo to something a little bit stronger and waterproof, it would be completely waterproof, though they don't advertise it as such. Then begs the question, which one is more stable? Because it looks like the width is fairly close, but let's line them up tire to tire here. You can have a look and see that the XMaxx is actually wider as a stance. Now, what does that mean? Well, if we want to talk about stability, normally the wider the better. But if this vehicle is heavier than this vehicle, it's really kind of hard to tell, right? Because we get a lot more body roll depending on our suspension setup than we might on this. Now, the XMaxx actually has Traxxas stability management, which is like an onboard gyro system, an electronic gyro system that helps control body roll and other things that are affecting the truck. Now, does the Reaper have that? No, it's actually just all up to you with the throttle control and your steering ability to see which truck is more stable. Some people like having the ability to have Traxxas stability management on to assist them when they're actually ripping around with such power, and some people actually like it just being open, raw. You are controlling the truck overall. The bonus is that you can turn off the Traxxas stability management with the XMaxx. For me to say which one I like better, it still isn't fair for me to say that yet, because I really haven't had enough running time with each one of them. I like them equally, as you can tell, for the reasons that I already stated here. But when it gets to be a little bit nicer out, I'm going to be able to dial them in a little bit more, get them on the racetrack, and see what kind of traction and power from the ESC and motor that we get to the wheels on the ground. It really depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for size and giant wheelies? This might be the truck that you're looking at, right? If you're looking for speed, power to the ground, lightness, and something that is in a, quote, affordable range for most folks, then the Reaper may be the best for you. Overall, I've got to say, as just a regular hobby user, both of these trucks are divine. I've had a lot of RC trucks. Some people say I have, had a lot of experience in the hobby, but I can say with these two monster trucks right here on the market at the moment, they are excellent. Now, there are certainly other competitors that are out there, but for ready-to-run vehicles that are of this size, there isn't that many to choose from. But these are the two that I have. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it's a realistic idea and explanation of what is the best, what is the greatest. All of these are only a personal opinion, and it's really up to you to go out there and try each one when you can, and if you can, then make your own opinion. And overall, at least you got outside and you got to have fun with the radio control hobby. And that's what this is all about, and that's what this show is all about. So thanks, guys, for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed just a candid look at these two trucks right here. Hopefully it helps you out in some way, and you're a subscriber, maybe even part of the notification squad, and we will see you in the next episode of RC Adventures. Bye for now.